Good day, everybody, and welcome back to the Chase is a Race YouTube channel. In today's episode, you are joined by a very special guest, Jono, with the iconic BMW M140i. So just before we start this episode, I would like to give a big thank you to all of you who've actually been supporting the journey on the Instagram and also on the YouTube as well. First couple of videos have been doing actually really well. Some of the posts also same thing on the Instagram, doing really well. Jono, welcome to the channel.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys having me.
So I would like to start off with the first question. Your first experience with a car, because you're obviously into cars. So I would like to really know, what is your first experience with your first car? What's actually the first car you actually drove?
Okay, well, yeah, so I actually started with the bikes when I was younger. Did motocross with my brother and everything. And then how I got into cars, it was my first car. My dad had a old E30, you know, the Kusheshe.
Really?
BMW, yeah, it was
Okay.
the 320, but it had the 325 IS body kit on. And yeah, that was my first car when I turned 19. So it was standing in the garage for like 20 years. It wasn't being used. And they fixed it up for me. And yeah, that was my first car. And I think when I got that car, that's when the bug bit, you know.
The hooligan came out.
The hooligan came out. So yeah, it was used for like varsity and everything. And yeah, I think I didn't do any races or anything like that because, you know, I was still very new to it. But I mean, just having a car like that and getting compliments from everyone, you know, because
it is an iconic car.
It is, yeah. It's a classic. Yeah, everyone wanted to buy it and stuff. And yeah, I guess that's how I got into it.
All right. So was that the first ever car you actually drove?
That was the first car I ever drove, yeah. And then it started giving lots of problems, like the power steering pump stopped working, the alternator stopped charging the battery. And back then I was in varsity, I didn't have money to fix
it up, yeah.
And yeah, my parents helped me as much as they could. So yeah, I needed to sell it. I didn't want to, but I needed something reliable for varsity. And I was also doing au pairing in between to earn a bit of pocket money.
100%.
Know? So I sold it to one of my best mates. He bought the car. And then my dad wanted to get me a Chevy Spark. But I was like, yo.
Downgrade.
Yeah, because, you know, which I wasn't upset about, you know, it's a reliable little car and light on fuel and stuff like that. But then when you start looking on Auto Trade and stuff and you find all these cars within your budget range, you know, it starts making you think of it. And I came across a Renault Clio. So I actually wanted the Megane F2. The F1, Megane F1. So yeah, we went to go look around and everything, and he wasn't really happy, my first car being the turbo car, because, you know,
very quick.
Very quick.
Insurance premiums also going to be very high.
Insurance premiums are going to be high, and also, you know, parents, they worry about their kids and stuff, you know.
Safety and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So then I found the Clio 3, call it the 197. It's the 2-liter naturally aspirated. So we found one of those. It had 150,000 Ks on the clock, and we got it for about 90. And
for 90K?
For 90K, yeah. So it was very reliable and everything. It was a nice little nippy car. Like I said, 2-liter naturally aspirated. Revs all the way to 8,000.
And it's front-wheel drive, right?
Front-wheel drive, yeah. Didn't do any races with that. Again, I didn't know the racing scene. You know, went on breakfast runs. We had like a little Renault group, still belong to them today, yeah. They're just mates and stuff. And yeah, then I just did the cosmetics, like I put a split on, I put the roof spoiler at the back, I did the side skirts, resprayed the mags, did the calipers yellow. Yeah, after that, then I started modding the car. So we did a whole engine rebuild, forged pistons, forged rods, ACR race bearings, turbo conversion. So it's got a GT28 hybrid on there. So yeah, so I think that's the way I just started, you know, getting into things now.
Modifying and also kind of like the racing scene.
Yes, yeah. Still didn't race and stuff. Obviously, raced on the streets and stuff like that, but never took it to
like
any drag events. Yeah. Again, didn't know, and also the car is very problematic. As soon as I started modding, the reliability of the car just went out the window. Yeah, because I mean, the car's not made to do that. I mean, you can put big money in the car to make it reliable, but again, didn't have that money. You know, just did as much as I can.
Exactly.
Still have the car.
Is it?
Yeah, show you guys later. My dad's taken over the car, so it's still running. It's just not starting with a key. So I think there's something wrong with the starter motor or something like that. But yeah, and then I always wanted a 135. Like that was this car also just gave endless issues after the modding and stuff, but it was fun to drive. It went from 105 wheel kilowatts to over 212.
212?
Over 212. So yeah, so that was a big achievement. Me and my dad worked so many times on that car. I think we pulled that engine out about 3-4 times.
Jeez.
Went through 3 clutches. Yeah, we upgraded to a diesel clutch. And also put a limited slip diff in there. That came from a Megane 2 RS, the F1. Yeah, so it's modded, but yet again, you know, if
reliability was a bit compromised with all the modifications.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Also the alternator went, so we put on actually an alternator that comes from the RS 250 Megane. That was like a straight fit. But yeah, injector started giving problems. We got that sorted. It's just issues after issues.
Yeah.
And the fuel as well. Now it's crazy.
Oh, Charles a lot, right?
Charles a lot. The lag is crazy. I think boost only comes in at 4.5 RPM.
Yeah, and that's up to RPM as well.
So put flat first gear, it's like a tractor. It's just
until it
kicks in, and then it's all just power. You know, that torque steer. Yeah, so I was happy, but the car was in the shop more than it was on the road.
Jeez, and that's actually not so good anyway, because you don't get to drive it
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I've always been a BMW fan since I had the E30. You know, my dad bringing me up like that and everything. And all the breakfast runs we've been on, and you know, seen the BMWs and everything like that. Always a fan of rear wheel drive as well. And yeah, after that, I always wanted a 135. And finally, when I got a decent job and everything, the 140s came out. I think that they came out in 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, around about 2016.
2016, yeah.
2016.
And I remember I started my new job. It was the first month there, and I was driving back to my place in my mom's bakkie because the Renault was
obviously down for
broken. Yeah. And I saw a yellow 340 behind me. It was a yellow M340i. And
the F series, right?
The F series,
yeah.
And that just caught my eye, that color and everything. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna get home and see what I can find on Auto Trader. If I can find a 140, you know. And I got home, searched Auto Trader, and I found the yellow 140. And I'm like, it must be a sign. And I think back then it was 2020, just before COVID hit.
Yeah.
Just before lockdown, The car was going it had 150 kilometers on the clock, 2019 model, so the last of the that model batch. Range, for 569.
Serious?
569.
Sure. So and that's pretty low, obviously, like in terms of mileage. So it is
150 kilometers, So the price was really well, and I gave it a try, and I got approved, and that's how I got the BMW.
Sure. So this is a crazy jump from the 325, the E30, then from
it was a 320.
320.
Yeah, so
right?
It was the
E30
straight 6.2 liter, but it had the 325 IS body kit on. Yeah.
And then we went from the Renault. From the Renault, you're driving your mom's bakkie for a bit.
Yeah.
From the bakkie to the 140. Okay. So I think once we actually saw on the 140, I want to touch on your first driving experience with the 140. Obviously, it's a big jump from the Renault to the 140 because of driving dynamics and also power. Did you find it quite intimidating, and how long did it take for you to adapt to the car?
Yeah, because I've always been driving manuals and stuff. I've driven automatics now and then, mates' cars and stuff. So it was a bit of an adjustment. You're always trying to look for a clutch and everything like that. Right. But you catch on pretty quickly. And I drove the car quite nicely for the first 2,000 Ks because they said, you should drive it in for the first 2,000 Ks. I go by the book. I'm sure, as you guys know, I'm like that. I'm really by the book. So, I was pushing it now and then, but not anything too hectic. Just learning the car, getting used to the car. And I still remember when I hit that 2,000 mark. I tried my first launch, and now I didn't know that the car, for the launch control to, you know, for the little flag launch control active to come up, you have to be in just Sports Plus.
Yeah.
Sports Plus. But I put everything off, DSC, everything. I tested it in my little community. It was a quiet, I think it was on a weekend during the morning sometime. Put foot hard on the brake, and the car's just revving, and I just don't see that flag. So
it's not coming up.
No, what's going on? It's probably something broken or something. And I just let that brake pedal go, and yes, the just back tires started lighting up, smoking, and I almost went into the embankment.
No way.
But luckily, foot off the petrol car came right, and after that, I was like, okay. Jeez. So I just quickly, messaged belonged to the
M3540 club.
Yeah. So I asked them, guys, what's going on? I tried to do a launch and it's not working. And they told me, did you have DSC completely off? So I'm like, that's why. Just try with, it only works with
Sport Plus.
And traction semi on,
Yeah.
And then I tried that again afterwards, and it was
worked properly.
And after that, I think I was launching from every robot.
Sounds like a robot.
Yeah.
I want to touch on the modifications that have obviously been done on the 140, because I can tell, first of all, on the door cards, it's white, exterior, yellow.
Yes.
So was that one of the first modifications, and then we can obviously talk about the rest that you've done already.
So they came wrapped like that at BMW. They call it the Heritage 140. So it's not the Shadow Edition or anything like that. It's Provo spec, police spec. So I was looking at obviously the different. I wanted to get a Shadow line, but I couldn't. This one was brand new. I wasn't going to take one with higher mileage. I mean, I can sacrifice a few, few extras, for a new car.
Right.
It doesn't bother me.
Right.
So I got the car. It was wrapped yellow. They had about 5. They had a blue, they had a red, they had the yellow. They had a complete white one, and then one with like all the different BMW colors on. It looked almost like a splash effect. And the yellow was just different. It just caught my eye. And then there was another guy in our group. His name is Yassine. He bought the blue one. He actually wanted the yellow one, but I got there before him. This is before I knew him and everything.
Yeah.
So then, we went actually on a breakfast run, the first breakfast run with my car, and I met him there. And he had the blue one, and he says, "Hey, bro, I've seen this car. This is the one I wanted. Did you also get it at that BMW? I think it's East Rand." So I was like, and he's like, "Okay, cool. Well, he belongs to the 35-40 runners group. Would I like to be added?" So I was like, that'll be nice. And so they got me added to that group, and that's when I met all the gents and stuff. And I said, when I got this BMW, I'm going to keep it stock, because it's fast enough. It's my daily car. And, just coming back from the Reno, I don't want any problems. If I want to go to Durban,
like I'm going to keep it stock.
If I want to go to Cape Town, the car must be reliable.
Yeah.
But gents, peer pressure.
Too much.
Peer pressure. So I got into the racing scene, obviously, with my mates and stuff. Karabo, he was the first one to introduce me to the racing scene and everything. The good old days at SL, Secret Location. Then he actually showed me a lot. I always used to started racing in automatic, because that's how you learn.
Exactly. You have to start somewhere.
You have to start somewhere. So he's like, Jono, do this, manual, try that, So he actually taught me a lot, which I'm really grateful for. Learned a lot from him. And I think that's when the bug just bit. I had fun with the car stock, because it's quick stock,
Very
off the line.
Very quick.
Won a few races and everything, but I think once I went to like time events and stuff like that and saw my times, I think that was the addiction, to beat my time.
Exactly. Yeah.
And listening to the sound of my friends' cars, like with exhausts and all that stuff. It was just like I said, the peer pressure was just too crazy, and also it's my passion.
Exactly.
So I actually rode the car long for stock. I think it was I had the car ready for 2 years before I did the downpipe. But before then I was running ethanol. So the car stock, with the stock tune, can run E25, which made a big difference.
Big difference.
That gives the car about, I remember Delano was telling me, about 35 extra horsepower.
Serious?
Just on E25. We tested with the times. And obviously from the times you can see
so it's coming down a bit.
Yeah, and your obviously exit speeds are greater as well. So it started like that, and then I think it was just after 2 years I started with a downpipe, and then I did the mid pipe, and then recently I just did the high pressure fuel pump, and yeah, also did boot mod and XHP. So yeah, that's how it all started.
Your car is very controversial because I saw one specific drag race that I saw from Carabo beating a whole Ferrari.
Yeah,
a whole Ferrari.
Yeah, it was.
How did that go down?
Yeah, no, that was like I still remember it. Secret location. It was an oldish guy, like an old toppy, very nice guy, and saw the Ferrari there and said, you know, went to go introduce myself. So would you like to race? He's like, yeah, we can give it we can do one race. And Karabo was still with me there, helping me with manual, rolling in manual and everything. And he just wanted to do one race, but I think after that we did like 3-4 races because I beat him all the time. We did from the dig, so launch and rolling, and yeah, but it was what was it? It was a Ferrari California.
Yeah, it was a California.
Yeah, nothing special. It's an old car, you know. Ferrari is a Ferrari, but you can't compare the technology that's in that car compared to
the BM. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and that's also naturally aspirated with the BMW.
Yeah, that is naturally aspirated.
But I think top end, that's where he will have the advantage. So if we had to do a top end roll on a highway or somewhere, he would obviously have the advantage of that.
Exactly.
I'm saying, and I say this without any fear of contradiction, we are cruising nicely.
But yeah, no, it was good fun. It was I think that was one of the most.
The Monday after.
That was the most. I think that was the happiest days of my life. Well, actually, yeah. Strange enough, he said to me, "This is gonna end. This can either end in two ways. You're either gonna beat me, and then I'm gonna sell the car and get something better." So I'm like, "Okay, give it a try." And yeah, so I did beat him, and I think one of my mates posted on the group. It was I think it was a few days after that. You know, he sold the car.
No ways.
He sold the car.
No way.
Yeah, he said I think it was going for 1.7 million. He sold it for 1.7 million. And how we knew was we took pictures of the car there. So the number plate with the name of the dealership where he got it from. You know, that's how we saw, because it was at the same dealership where they're selling exactly the same
sort of cars.
Sort of, yeah. The car looked, it was the same car. And he also commented on the post and everything like that.
No ways.
Yeah, so...
So you actually sold the car?
Sold the car, yeah.
Sure. Did, yeah. How embarrassing.
Yeah. But it was a good race. It wasn't like there was any beef or anything like that, you know.
Friendly race.
Yeah, friendly race. It was good fun. But obviously, I think when I made the post, I just do it for the socials. I think a lot of people take that the wrong way. You know, I'm the kind of guy, if I lose, I lose.
Right,
if they post a video of me losing, I don't care. It's the sport. I love the sport.
Yeah.
But a lot of people...
They take it personally.
They take it personally.
100%.
Yeah, you know?
Very, very personally.
So, yeah. I just do it for the views and the likes, and it's my passion. I love it. You know?
Yeah, and it runs through all of our blood. I'm pretty sure you can even testify to that. And I also want to touch on what's the current power level in terms of real kilowatts and torque of the M140, and also maybe future modifications that you're looking to do with it.
Okay, well, I haven't dynoed the car. I've never dynoed the car. The diffuser that I've currently got on is an aftermarket one. It doesn't come out with that little cutout where they strap the car down. So I would like to dyno it, but yeah, I either got to take that off or find an alternative. But stock, it makes 250, 500 Newton meters on the fly. I know some guys who've dynoed it stock actually push more than that. It's just a BMW thing. They always underrate their cars, you know. But I was chatting to my tuner, and he says when I was stage 2 E30, it makes about 310, 315, maybe 320 wheel kilowatts. Well, yeah, on the wheel kilowatts. So I'm yet to try the E50 stage 2 plus, because now I've got the upgraded TU pump, high pressure fuel pump, and that's around 330, 335, 340. Every car is different. Newton meters, I think
should be more than 500.
Yeah, no, way more.
Stock,
it must be
about 500, right?
I know stage 2 plus E50 is probably running about 800, maybe just over 800 Newton meters. Yeah, but yet again, every car is different.
Every car is different.
I mean, when I raced my car with a downpipe and E25, people thought I was tuned. You know?
Because
they didn't believe me. Yeah. But I guess it's also a lot of driver mod comes into it. You know, I've had a lot of practice. My mates teaching me and stuff. So it's not just how much power you have. It's how you put that power down. Future mods.
Yeah, future mods.
Future mods. I'm happy now, so I'm gonna rest for a while. Hopefully the stock turbo doesn't go anytime soon. If it does, I'll probably do hybrid. I don't think big turbo yet. But yeah, I'm leaning more towards LSD. And yeah, also the box. I think it's got comes out stock with the HP50. And the next upgrade from that will be the HP70. Yeah, it's just a stronger box, can hold more torque and everything like that. So yeah, it all depends, how much. Obviously if you're pushing more power, you need the mods that can take it. And yeah, reliability also plays a role. It's my daily for work. So,
you need it to be super reliable anyway.
I'm happy with it now. I'm hoping I can do high 10s, like 10.9. I'll be happy with a 10.9.
Yeah.
If I do a 10.9, I'll retire. No, I'm kidding. I will try my best. On the stage 2 E30, my best was 11.6, 11.69 at mid-vol with good tires. So yeah, I want to see if I can break into the 10s.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, I'm happy now
with the current
setup. Yeah.
Interesting. So I would also like to touch on, before you got the 140, what were the other options that you had in mind?
Okay,
besides the 140.
Funny enough, I've always liked the Golfs, the Golf R, the GTI, S3 and RS3s. But I was just thinking to myself, like, there's just so many Golfs on the road. You know, GTIs, Golf Rs. A lot
Actually.
A lot. Obviously, I would take the Golf R over the GTI, but there's a lot, and the prices on them is crazy. I mean, for what you pay for
and what you're getting,
it's crazy.
Just doesn't match up.
So yeah, I did a lot of homework. Then I was also looking at the S3 hatchback, but also same. I think back then it was 2017, 2018 models, and they, for what you're paying over 600,000 rand, you're getting 188 kilowatts and Newton meters. I can't remember.
450, 400.
400, 420.
That's low.
Not really sure. Yeah, so I wasn't really keen on that. And yeah, when I was reading up about the BMWs and the B58, obviously that platform is amazing.
Very powerful.
For what you pay for and what you get, I was like, no, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
And also that platform is so reliable, and you know, the tuning capabilities on it, mod for mod, it's crazy. I mean, we tested with my mate Karabo. He had a 235, and he had downpipe, he had midpipe, he had stage 2 plus. Stage 2 plus. Yeah, he upgraded to the B58 stock high pressure fuel pump. So he was running stage 2 plus E30. And yeah, just when I had downpipe in E25, just the power difference was
major, right?
It was major, yeah, it was crazy. We dynoed his car, and I think his car was pushing 280, 285.
It was I think it was 295. Yeah,
295, okay.
The wheels, I think. I can't remember.
Yes, yeah. So I was actually speaking to my tuner, and he says a 140 running ethanol E25 and just downpipe makes around about 280, 285.
That's a lot.
Like, that's just downpipe and ethanol. Like, it's crazy, you know. Again, every car is different. I haven't dynoed my car, but I mean, the banana is happy. It's, you know, it does the job. It's happy, you know. And also, I'm not a very big fan of like dyno figures. Everyone wants to see big dyno figures, you know. Obviously, if you see small numbers, it's going to hurt you inside.
A bit, yeah.
It's going to hurt you inside. But yet again, taking dyno figures and racing, it's
two different things.
Two different things.
Yeah.
It's two different things.
Because also when it comes to racing as well, I think you do need like a great level of skill.
Yeah, you
good
do.
Reaction time of
it's all about that start, you know. I've raced guys with cars much stronger than mine, and I've beaten them, you know. It's how you put that power down. So yeah, it's a very, how can I say, skillful sport, if you can say. If you make one mistake, you know,
it's game over.
There's no second chance.
Yeah, there's no catching up. Yeah. It's a very, very short distance, especially if it's a quarter mile.
Exactly, yeah. But then take those stronger cars and then do highway runs with them. That's a different ball game. Obviously, that's where a stronger car would come
into its
on
prime.
top.
Yeah. So I think we've already discussed all the positives of the M140. And I'm pretty sure we could touch on the things you don't like about it. Like, what are the day-to-day things that you can't overlook and say, you know, this car, there's certain things that I really don't like about it, and I would definitely change on it.
The fuel consumption. So obviously with all these mods, you have the exhaust and everything like that. You know, you want to hear that sound. But the fuel consumption is terrible. I think if I do just city driving, no highway driving, I get about 350 k's on a tank. It's a 52-liter tank. But on the highway, long roads, it's very, how can I say, economical. Yeah. I still remember the first time I tested it was going to Durban for the first time. I filled up here first click, so not even overfull, and eco mode, sticking to the speed limits all the way just to test it out. And I got about over 750 k's on a tank.
Serious?
Yeah, it was 5.7 liters per 100 kilometers, which is crazy. It's insane. It's good.
That's incredible. That's like a Yaris. A Yaris could actually even do something like that. So,
but that's when the car was stock. So I've never obviously tested it with
ever since then with the mods and stuff,
the downpipe and you know that stuff. So yeah, it's quite fuel efficient. What else I don't like about the car? I hate its lights. The Povo spec lights.
Been heavily criticized about that.
Yeah. But it is what it is, eh? No, I'm joking. I love the car. There's not much I don't like about it. Like, I think from all the previous cars I've come from, it's the best car I've owned. So there's not much. I haven't test driven any other car, so I wouldn't really know, you know, the difference. It's a very hard ride, but yet again, every sports car has stiff suspension because it's a sports car. Yeah. I would say with the ZF gearbox, it's not as smooth as a DCT. Now with the XHP, it's much better, but that only kicks in when you're in Sports Plus, or DSC off. The quick shifts, it's smooth, you know. But driving in Eco or Comfort, it's not smooth. It's a very, like, how can I say?
Like laggy a bit.
Yeah, a bit laggy. It's not a DCT box. You know, the torque converter it's a strong box. It's very reliable. So yeah, I'd say that. But you get used to it. You hardly feel it.
Especially if you're dailing the car anyway.
Especially if you're dailing the car. It is a very comfortable car to daily. I mean, highway driving, city driving, because of the auto box. I love it. It's nice. Sitting in traffic, you know. There's not much else. I really love the car. I think it was the best decision I made. I don't think I'll ever sell it, because it's the last of its kind. Yeah, we don't know if they're bringing out another 140, but it definitely won't be a straight 3-liter. If they do, I don't know.
Because with these auto manufacturers, most of them are obviously leading towards the downside of hybrid technology and also with the engine. So it's not, you know, like the original recipe of a combustion engine car.
Exactly. And like the new M135, that's what?
2-liter 4-cylinder.
Exactly. I mean, there's no misplacement for displacement. So yeah, but other than that, it's a beautiful car. I've had no problems with the car. The only problem I have had with it is the exhaust flap. It's controlled by a little spring that opens the flap. And one day I was driving and I heard before the vibration, like it was almost like strong air blowing up, and a weird sound. I can't really describe it. And then when I stopped the car, it was rattling, and I knew it was the flap. I belong to a lot of Facebook groups with B58 enthusiasts, M140 owners, and obviously you see daily posts of them posting problems with the car. And I came across one of these posts, so I knew the clip broke. It's like, I don't know, it gets weak and it snaps. So I went to BMW. It's the only place you can buy the clip. I think for a small little clip it's 132 Rand. Can you believe it?
Sure.
So obviously the car was still under motor plan, but I'm not going to book my car in for a service and stuff. So I did it myself. I think it took me the whole day. I only finished at night time to install that clip.
Serious? You did it by yourself?
I did it by myself, yeah. So it's got like a little, like a little electronic, you could say,
like an actuator.
Exactly that. It's got a little groove in it, and the clip fits in there, and then on the exhaust side itself, it's got another one where it clips in that controls the
opening of the
valve.
closing.
Yes, yeah. Now to line that up, because when you switch, if the car's in sports mode, you know, or when you switch the car off, it goes,
it closes.
But now with that thing broken, those two grooves have to line up. So now to find a way how to get those two things to line up was
almost tricky.
Almost tricky, yeah. Some of them say you have to put you put the car. I think they use ISTA. I don't know that program, ISTA or something like that. You can configure all the electronics of the BMW with that. But all I did was I just left the car on, I unclipped the actuator, and then put the car off, and somehow that managed those two clips to align.
Yeah.
But to get that thing in was crazy. I think I smeared that thing full of Vaseline. Baseline. So yeah, I managed. I did ask a few people on the group, but no one really did that before. Yeah, they said I must bring the car in. I didn't want to, you know. I was like, I can do it myself. Yeah, no, I managed.
It's a small, easy fix.
It's a small, easy fix. Yeah, so I managed. I got that right. And yeah, that was about it. I had no other problems with the car. I mean, all the races I've done, all the burnouts I've done, it's been good. The car's
major problems.
Yeah, the car's still young. I think it's got about 42,000 Ks on now. I've had it for almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years on the 28th of Feb. And no issues.
Oh, that's
no
perfect.
issues with the water pump, no issues with the gearbox, no issues with the turbo, nothing.
Okay. So I also want to touch on... Yeah, touch wood. I also want to touch on the top 5 things that you like about it. Things that you literally always enjoy every single time you're in the car.
Okay.
Exhaust note number 1. It has to be.
Exhaust note. Definitely now with the downpipe and midpipe. Love it. Love the color. Love the color. I've never been a fan of yellow, but I think it just grew on me. You know, and it's also different. You know, it's different. Yeah. The mods that I've done to it, well, the software, the XHP, just brought that car alive. Like it feels like a completely different car. Yeah, and I guess just its driving style. It's coming from a manual and going into a automatic car. It's just effortless, you can say, you know. And also, you know, not knowing when you're pushing the car, but not knowing, because it's a rear wheel drive, it's
very unpredictable.
It's very unpredictable.
Since it also doesn't have an LSD as well.
Exactly. So it's almost like you never get used to it. Like it scares you sometimes. You know.
Yeah.
They always say if it doesn't scare you, you're not going fast enough, or it's not fast enough. But I don't take chances like that. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, the car is just amazing. I love the flappy pedals. I've always been a fan of flappy pedals. But I hardly use them on a daily. Like I said, if I get a car with flappy pedals, I'll use them.
Yeah, when you're racing.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I'll use them, you know, all the time. But you just don't, because I mean, you're just daily driving.
Yeah.
So, but for racing, it's amazing.
It's perfect, right?
Pedals, yeah. And yeah, how much is that now?
Like 30 or something.
30, yeah.
Talk about like power spec and what, like it seems to be faster than other normal 140s, and what's the story behind that?
Yeah, so I've also heard stories like that. I don't know what it is, because obviously these were police cars, you know. I think they ordered a few of them, and before they actually took it, they actually sent them back to the dealership like, no, we actually want the 3 Series. That's why you see a lot of the police now with the 3 Series, the 330, the 320. So then obviously they had so many of these 140s that the dealerships didn't know what to do with them, so they sold them for good prices. But yeah, I've raced a lot of shadow lines and stock for stock, modded ones, and to be honest, I don't know if it's, you know, the driver's skill or the car. I don't know. I can't tell, you know, because I really don't know. But I've heard a lot of people saying, tuners and stuff, that these police spec 140s are a bit quicker. I don't know how, because it's the same engine, but again, it's different cars.
So do you think maybe they like recalibrated the ECU differently in contrast to like normal road going M140s maybe?
I really don't know. I know BMW did recall these cars for a DME update. We didn't know what it was for. A lot of people on the forum saying that they were going to lock the ECUs for tuning. So a lot of people didn't take their cars to get these DME updates. Obviously, mine was under plan. If I didn't take it, my plan would have been void. This was like in the beginning. So I spoke to someone at BMW, and she said because of the low fuel quality that we have, what this DME update does, it changes the spray, the injector spray of the injectors. So I think it was the cars were running very lean, which were breaking ringlands and pistons and all that stuff. So I don't know if maybe that gave it a bit of a performance upgrade, because obviously they can't make the car slower. People feel the difference.
Exactly.
And so I really don't know.
Also, stock takes more ethanol.
Yes, yeah. So the 2019 models of any BMW I've actually seen, they can take E25, which is the highest. Anything below 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016 can go E10. So they've got the same, how can I say, they've got the same high pressure fuel pump. I think the low pressure fuel pump is a bit different in the older models. The higher models have a better low pressure fuel pump. But yeah, the older models can only run less ethanol. So it obviously must be the software that was configured for that car at a factory. It's been calibrated for that percentage of ethanol. So yeah, but again, also I bought my car brand new. So if you take a brand new car of the same and put up against an older car, there's a difference. The engine is still new. There's less carbon deposits. So there can be a lot of factors that affect that.
They come into play, right?
They come into play, yeah.
Okay, so you did mention earlier in this episode that you would never get rid of the 140. But if that's the case, if you did do that, what's your dream car? And can we list maybe like at least top 5 dream cars that you definitely like to own?
So I've always wanted an M2 competition. Since the M2 competition came out, I think it's one of the best looking BMWs. But I was just thinking to myself, like, I love racing. There's nothing really that can match what I have now, the 140. In the racing scene, it's almost like a drag car out the box. The power to weight, the way it puts its power down. You don't see a lot of guys racing, dragging M2 comps, M3s, M4s. So, and I think the price jump as well. It's a lot of money. It's crazy. And also, if I get a car like that, like a Rabo has, the M3, F30, F80, that's one of my favorite BMWs too. I'll take that over the new BMWs any day. Any day. So it's between the M2 Comp and the F80 M3. But again, if I get one of those cars, I wouldn't race it. I wouldn't want any stone chips. I want the paint to be in
pristine condition.
So it'll be almost like a show car. It'll be a daily, breakfast runs, but I wouldn't race the car.
No.
Well, I say that now, I probably would, but I'd race anything. But yeah, so it's just, there's not much after the 140, that's going to really do me justice.
Unless
any of the X-Drives?
Yeah, I was about to mention that as well.
Yeah, X-Drives, not a big fan of X-Drives, guys. Do
you feel like you lose like a sense of driver feel and connectivity with the car?
The car does everything for you. Like, don't get me wrong, I've been in one of our other friends' 240, his name's Stanley, and that thing is crazy.
Or the G42, right?
The G42, yeah. I mean, I remember the first time he brought it to one of the races, and he was launching there, and I was like launching with him. And then Karabo was like, let me drive your car. So he let Karabo drive, and he launched that car into another dimension. And after I was like, no, there's no way. I will never beat. So yeah, the car, it's an amazing car. It's X-Drive, but to me, I don't know. I'm old school. I like rear wheel drive. So yeah, I guess I like to learn the car, you know, and practice. And with those cars, it's just the car does all the work.
Very assisted, right?
Very assisted, yeah.
So would you say
it's just boost and launch? Doesn't matter what surface you're on.
Anyone can
you're
do
going
it.
the same, It's, you know, they are beautiful cars. Don't get me wrong, but I think again it's personal preference.
Yeah, it is. Personal
it comes down to
preference at the end of
personal
the day.
preference. Yeah. I've just always been old school rear wheel drive fan. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, like to fight the car a bit.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like it has its own mind of its own. You know.
If you die, you die.
If you die, you die.
There's obviously like quite a lot of viewers who obviously watch this podcast and are obviously very inspired by people such as Karabo, Lucky with the RS3, him with the M3, you and the M140. And I'm pretty sure there's quite a few people that would like to know what gets you up every single morning, what motivates you to continuously work hard every day to achieve certain goals and also to sustain the current lifestyle you're living right now.
Not to pay the car off, eh? Yeah, no, well, I love my job, you know, I'm in IT and stuff. I really do love my job. And yeah, obviously I wish I could do the car thing as a full-time thing. I would actually like to own my own shop one day and stuff like that. Wish I could race for a living. So yeah, that is a goal. But yeah, just work hard to, I guess, progress in life and enjoy the toys, and yeah, see where that goes. You know, as you know, things are so expensive. Tires, petrol, there's still ethanol and the mods. So you got to have money to do all these things.
Yeah.
And every sport is expensive.
Very, yeah.
You know,
always comes at a price tag.
A lot of people say, you know, when I got that car, I think I heard this over 1,000 times. You're wasting your money. Why do you want a car like that? You know. But you're not wasting money if you're spending something on your passion.
Exactly.
Makes you happy, right?
And something that also gets you fulfilled at the same time.
Exactly. And I mean, you can die the next day. You can have 2 million, 3 million in the bank. Then what? Use that money. You haven't enjoyed it, you know?
Exactly.
So obviously, you know, you have responsibilities and everything like that, but just have fun.
It's always about getting a fine balance.
Exactly. You need, you know, you got your work life, you've got your personal life, you need to have that escape, you know, and we all have something that just sets us free, you know. I mean, behind that wheel, I just feel one with the car. Like, she speaks to me. It sounds weird, but it's just, you just have that bond.
Right.
You know, some people don't understand that because obviously it's not their passion.
Exactly, yeah.
But it's obviously a feeling I can't explain. It's, you know, only the car guys will know.
Yeah, only car guys will know, you're right, yeah.
It's like something metal, but it's just that bond.
It's like a living entity.
Yeah, it's like a living entity almost. You know? You just feel one with it. It's just, everything is just, it works. You know, it's amazing.